Welcome back to the Arcane Covers channel. We're going to be looking at how to attract the right readers with your LitRPG book cover. Hopefully you've watched the previous video and what makes a good LitRPG cover. If not, then you'll want to watch that first, and I'll put the link in the description below for you. As you know, a cover needs to firstly communicate your genre cues to your potential readers. That way, people who like reading lit RPG stories will know that your book is in that genre and they'll like it. When you look at a cover, whether you consciously realize you're doing it or not, you immediately think, oh, that's a romance book, or, ooh, that looks like epic fantasy, or whatever the cover is. The reason you do this is because you're picking up on these genre cues. Romance covers have images of couples or shirtless guys. We've all seen them. Epic fantasy covers have beautiful, fantastic views, castles, dragons, knights, etc. I covered what the general lit RPG genre cues are in the previous video, so you need to make sure that your cover has some of those in it. The last thing you want, at least currently, is a text-focused cover that doesn't have the word lit RPG or online on it anywhere. The trouble arises when it comes to the sub-genres within lit RPG. We've all seen those Facebook questions. I'm looking for a book like such and such, but I don't want the harem elements. Or, I love harem books. What others are out there? People are very opinionated about what they like and don't like when it comes to the subgenres within the RPG. So ideally, you want the people who will enjoy the different elements you have in your story to be attracted to your cover, and the people who don't like the elements you have in your story to be repelled by it. The way to do this is to put the applicable lit RPG subgenre cues on your cover and leave out the ones that don't apply to your story. For instance, if you don't have harem elements in your story, don't put them on your cover, because if you do, those that hate harem won't read it, and those that love harem will be disappointed because it didn't have them in the book, and they'll leave you a review telling you about it. Maybe you have a dungeon core story, but you've decided to make your dungeon core's guide a disembodied voice instead of the trope fairy. That doesn't mean that you can't put a fairy on the cover to attract the readers who like the dungeon core books. No one is going to read the story and come back and say, oh, but your dungeon core guide wasn't a fairy. You shouldn't have had a fairy on your cover. They've already bought the book at that stage and they've enjoyed it. Maybe you have characters or places in your story that have become symbols for other subgenres. If that's the case, you might want to think about not featuring that character or location on your cover. When it comes to attracting the right readers, you need to think more about who you want your cover to attract and less about the exact specifics of your story. Do that, and you'll end up with a cover that will appeal to the readers who will also enjoy your story.